Hey guys, 8bitsgood here and welcome to another Unity tutorial. In today's tutorial we're going to be making some water in a 3D environment. Okay, so let's just jump straight into it. So first of all, what we need to do is open a new project which is using 3D URP. Now if you haven't downloaded it before, it's going to be scroll down a bit and you have to download it like you would with any of these other different kinds of projects. Okay, so you'd choose that one, it'll download, give it a name, and then once you have done that, you'll get the usual project and a blank project just like this. Right, so when it loads, you'll have something called like tutorial and a 3D cube. You can delete that and the tutorials in there. Okay, and we get our scene here. Now, first of all, we want to create a 3D object. We're going to create a plane. Okay, and I'll call this water when it's finished compiling. Okay, so we've got water here. So there's our water. Now, next we need to actually create the effect for the water. So we'll go to create, and we're going to create a shader graph, URP, and then lit shader graph. And let's call this water. And when it's done, we've got our new shader here. Now, what we need to do next is we're going to click on the water, right click, and then create. And we're going to create a material. And it's going to be called here shader graph, and we're going to call this water. Okay, and then all we need to do is drag this onto here. And you'll see now it's turned to this kind of blue color. Now that's because we've done nothing to it. Oh, there we go. And now it's back to normal. So it's not going to change at the moment because we still haven't done anything to our shader here. Okay. So now we're going to double click on our water shader graph here. And we're going to get this here. Now what I'm going to do is to make it easier to see, double click on where it says water. We'll go into a full view. Okay, first of all, where it says preview, okay, we're going to right click and choose custom mesh and choose plane. And then in here now, you can see our water plane here. You're going to have to maybe use your mouse to drag it around. But now we can see our shader here. So let's get into this. So first of all, what we can do is actually create a base color. So one change we want to make first is to our surface type. We want it to be transparent. And then everything else is okay. Because obviously water is meant to be slightly transparent. Okay, so what we can do here is we're going to create a new color. So we're going to choose color, and let's call it water color. Okay, and here we can actually choose the main color. So for mine, I'm going to use hexadecimal for mine. So this is the one I like. I'm just going to paste it in because I did this one earlier. Okay, so if you want, you can copy my hexadecimal, which should be 51A2F1. I like this color. Okay, and then if we drag that out onto here, you can then see you've got a little dot here. We can then link that up to here. So we're going to drag that to there. And once it's finished compiling the shader, we should see that our water has a color here now. Now this is just like a base step. It is not going to be a permanent thing here. Okay, let's give it a moment. Okay. So there we go. Now you can see we have that there. If we actually, you can actually save. If we go out to our scene view, when it gets back to it, in a moment, this should then show our change. So this will now be blue. The same color. There we go. So we've got our base color of the water there. But obviously, it's boring. It's not moving. But obviously, all the stuff is going to reflect in this one here, in our shader material. So we're going to go back to the water. I'm going to go back to a full screen view. Now, first of all, we're going to probably want to work on our ripples. Now, a good one to use for a ripple is called a Voronoi. So we're going to create a node. And we're going to get to search here. I'm going to search for Voronoi. And we've got this here. So this, obviously at the moment, is not really moving. If by the look of it, it kind of looks like cells in a way. But we need to get it moving. So first of all, we're going to create another node called time. And we're going to link time to another new node called multiply. And we're going to link time to A1. But we obviously want to get it moving, so we're going to need a float. So we're going to create a float here, and we'll call it speed of ripples. Okay, and on this one, we're going to, again, like we did on this, on the watercolor, on speed of ripples, we're going to click, and we're going to change our default here, what's X. It's up to you, you can choose, you can mess around after we finish it as well if you want, but for now I'm going to set that to a 2. And I'm going to drag that out onto here, and I'm going to put speed of ripples onto B1. Okay, and we're going to want to move it a bit, and then we're going to put the output going to here. And now you can see them moving around. Now, we're going to next add some density to our ripples. So we're going to add a new float here. Call it density of ripples. Again, we're going to click on that. And for our density, we'll set that for now, let's say to 4. Drag that out to here. And this is going to replace our cell density here. Okay. You can, if you want to rearrange stuff, you can just highlight it by dragging and dropping, doing the select by dragging to move things around. Okay, and but it still looks a bit flat. So we're going to add another node here called radial shear. Oh, that one there. Okay, and let's change the X to 5 and the Y to 4. And then we put the output into the UV one here. And you can see it kind of warps the shapes of the Voronoi here to get them moving. Okay, now we want to give it a bit more oomph, so we're going to add a new node called power. And we're going to link our output to A1. So our output here to the A1 here. And we're going to need to create another float and we'll add that now. It's going to be a float, and let's call it ripple thickness. And for this one, we're going to make it into the X as an 8. And we'll drag that out and pop that from onto B1. And you can see now they're a lot thicker. Okay, so I'm going to move these a bit just to give a bit more space. There we go. Put this one over here. All right. So we've now got this, and it's, if you don't want to see the actual view of it, you can minimize it here. Okay. So we've done that, but we want to then multiply this. Okay. So we're going to create a new node called multiply again. And we'll link that to here. So out 1 to A1. Okay. And we've got a bit of space there. And here we're going to actually influence the color. So this is actually going to show the ripples on our plane. So I'll say at the moment nothing's changed because we haven't linked it to here, which we'll do in a few moments really. So we're going to create a new color. So we're going to go to add and color of ripples. Get rid of the capital F there. I want a small one. All right. So this is where we're going to choose our color. Okay. Now this is where we're going to be a bit different. We're not going to use default on this one. We're going to use HDR. And this is how we really want to choose the colors using the options here. So I'm going to put my red value as 48. This is 85. And then my blue is 191. And we get this color here. So it's a similar color. It's a blue, but it's very light blue. And then the intensity, I'm going to set that to 1.5. So where it says intensity here, I'll set it to 1.5. And then I just drag that out, and I'm going to link this to here. And you can see now we've got some color in between the black circles. Okay, one more thing now before we can actually link it in. And we'll have ripples on the water. So we're going to add an add. Create a node called add. Okay, and we link our output to B1 here. And then we can take our base color here. So we can just click on the line here, delete that line, stop the link. We're going to drag our base color and link that to there. And then you can see our water here. Okay, and we can move this here for now. And we're going to put the output into base color. It's going to compile the shader. Okay, so it'll take a moment to show up here. But if you want to see it in action, we can save, and you can see here how it's moving. Yeah, we're going to click save. And if we double click to close out, we can go to our scene. And when this updates, now it's not going to, you're going to notice it's not really moving. If you right click to do the camera angle, it's going to start moving. Now it's not because of your computer, it's because of how it is. So if you're doing that or you click play, it will also move normally. But while you're in the scene view, it's not really going to move. Now you can see, obviously not the best camera angle, but you can see it moving perfectly fine from there. Again, you can just click anything. So I'm just using the select tool here, and it's moving. You can you can click on the mouse wheel to move around. You'll see it moving, and there. So we have kind of a water effect there. Now, if you just want flat water, that's fine. But if you want it to be a bit wavy, that's what we can add next. So we'll go back into our water. Okay, and we're going to create a new, some new ones here. So let's start with a multiply. So, okay, we've got our multiply node here. Okay, and for this one, we're going to add time, a new node called time. And we'll link our time node to A1. And then we're going to create a new float called speed of wave speed. It's up to you. Okay, not exactly what I wanted, but let me edit the name. Okay, and for the wave speed, the speed of the waves, we're going to set that to 1. Okay, and we'll drag that out, and we're going to link that to B1 here. Obviously, nothing happening. Okay, so next we're going to create a new gradient noise. So we're going to create a gradient noise. All right, and we're going to want to also add an offset. So we're going to choose something called tiling and offset. And you're going to get this here. You don't need to see it. We can close it. Okay. And we're going to link our multiply to offset 2. And it's going to look like a yellow color. That's what we want. And then we're going to link this 2 from out 2 to UV 2. And you can see now we've got it moving. But obviously, we're going to want to make it a bit bigger because that's going to be like how the waves look. So let's add a size for our waves. So we're going to add a wave size or size of waves. Add a float size of waves. Okay, and for this one, we're going to set that to 5. Okay, and we're going to put that here, and we're going to drag that to be our scale here. And there we go. Now, a couple more things to do, and then we're actually finished. So we're going to create another multiply. So we're going to create a node called multiply. And we'll link that to B. So our B node, our B input. And we're going to add a new node again called normal vector. And with space, we're going to change space to object. And that is going to link to A1 here. And we're going to get this here. So it's kind of weird looking, but it's going to work. All right, we've got 2 more nodes we need to add. So we're going to add an add. And this is going to link to our add, the A1. And then we want to create a new node for position and call it position. Okay, and again, with this one where it says world, we're going to change that to be object and link that to B. And we're nearly done now. In fact, we can actually move this vertex node here, and we're going to add that one is going to link to our position. So we'll link that there to position. It's going to compile our shader. And as you can see, we've got some bumpy water here. We'll click Save Asset. We can double click out, go to our scene, give it a moment. Okay, and when it's finished compiling our shader, we'll have some bumpy water. And again, you can just move the mouse. Now, if you don't like it, what you can actually do is, if you click on, should be the water. Yeah, so size of waves, you can mess around, say 4 or 3. It's up to you. 2, a bit more gentle that way. Yeah, so all the floats we set out in the water shader here, you can change the color, you can change the HDR, color of the ripples, density of the ripples, the speed, so you can say 3. Yeah, so it's up to you. You can mess around with it until you're happy. But yeah, and there we go. We have our kind of cartoony looking water, and it is kind of transparent, so from above you can see some things from underneath it if you place objects. Not really obvious though. And yeah, that is it. If you found this tutorial helpful, please hit that like button and also consider subscribing. Not far off hitting 200 subscribers. I think only like 21, 22 away at the time of recording. So yeah, again, thank you very much for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and until next time, 8-Bit Squid out.